Welcome to the stream, everyone. My name's Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And man, oh man, do we have a lot to talk about on this day. This is just something that is beyond insane. I mean, with President Trump naming Dan Bongino as the deputy director of the FBI, we're in a spot now that I don't think any of us ever dreamed we would be in. So, the draining of the swamp is going to happen on a level that no one ever dreamed of before. And we're going to be live in just a couple of minutes on the radio. You're welcome to call in. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. And I'm going to lead with this story. And, the thing about this pick of Bongino by Kash Patel and President Trump is that it without question signals that they're not playing around, that they really mean business. One second, guys. Oh, yeah. 1 minute. Okay. Stand by. Okay. All right. Yes, we have less than a minute and we'll be live on the radio. But the number to call in live is pinned in the live chat. And, as we go through this and we really process it, I mean, this is swamp draining times infinity. All right, stand by. Here we go. Just about 20 seconds and we'll be live. Oh, I'm so excited. So excited. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and you are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. And I'm just going to get it out, and then I'll talk about it. If you're just waking up and tuning in, President Trump and Kash Patel have named as the deputy director of the FBI Dan Bongino. This is so huge. And, when I woke up this morning, I did what I do every morning. I reach over, before I get out of bed, I grab my iPhone and I check what news has developed since I went to sleep. I've got a sneeze coming on, guys. Oh, goodness. Oh, well, I'll try to hold it through the break, but bear with me. I woke up and I saw that Kash Patel and Trump had named Dan Bongino as the deputy director of the FBI, and I thought I was still dreaming. I couldn't believe it. I thought this has to be some kind of internet hoax. So I got up, took a shower, grabbed my coffee, and went back and found out that indeed it is the truth that Dan Bongino has been named the deputy director of the FBI. And there's a great many things to talk about in regards to this. First of all, it shows how serious President Trump is about draining the swamp. And out of all of Trump's picks for every agency of government, everything's good, everything's important. There's people making huge moves. But the most important is this team at the Justice Department, led by Pam Bondi as Attorney General, Kash Patel as Director of the FBI, and Dan Bongino was the Deputy Director of the FBI. And this one really shocked me. It really shocked me. It still is. I'm still getting used to the idea. I've been up for hours. I saw this, and I'm still getting. It's amazing. This is amazing. And President Trump. When they shot President Trump in Butler, everything changed. He's not messing around. He's not playing games. This is for real. And the swamp draining is going to happen. And I am expecting, sooner rather than later, high-profile major arrest. You put together the team of Bondi, Patel, and Bongino, the triumvirate of swamp drainers, and these are three people who don't play. They've been very vocal the last 4 years about who the bad guys are, and this isn't going to be some situation where there's some special counsel that spends $40 million in 3 years investigating something, and then they indict someone you never heard of. I don't view that as any possibility. I see Dan Bongino as Deputy Director of the FBI. I see him leading teams in the field, knocking down doors, and arresting these lawfare people in a very high-profile arrest. And these will be names that we know, with perp walks and everything. And what shocks me so much about this with Bongino, Bongino is a nationally syndicated radio host and podcaster. He has a multi-million-dollar business he just walked away from. And, people throw patriot around as a label very easily these days. Everyone's a patriot. There's different degrees of being a patriot. And Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, and Pam Bondi, they are risking everything. Dan Bongino has just walked away from a multi-million-dollar business to do this, to be the Deputy Director of the FBI. I would say Bongino is on the level of American patriot, like the great founding fathers of the United States, who were risking everything. I know that Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino are going to arrest these top-level lawfare people, because if they don't, if these people are not arrested and prosecuted and go to prison for the crimes they've been committing against President Trump these last, 10 years now, the Democrats, I know this is, I don't want to dwell on this part too much, but this is a truth, a fact. At some point in our future, the Democrats will be in power again. Hopefully 100 years from now, but eventually they'll be in power again. Let's be honest with ourselves, okay? At some point, or at least have some degree of influence. We may control the White House for 16 years. Republicans took over Florida in 1998, and we've had the governor in both state houses ever since 1998, so we could have Republican control forever, but the odds are not statistically aren't in our favor, but maybe they are. But Bongino, Pam Bondi, and Kash Patel, if they don't arrest and prosecute and convict these high-profile lawfare people and put them in prison, when the Democrats come back into power, the three of them will end up in prison. Don't you understand? They're risking everything forever. These three, out of all, President Trump, all of his picks are great. They're doing great stuff. They're all disruptors. But these three in particular are risking the most. They're risking more than Elon. Elon Musk is risking a lot. They really hate him because, cutting off the payoff through USAID and everything else, that's all huge stuff, no doubt about it. But he's the richest man in the world, which provides him a lot of security, that he can insulate himself from anything they bring against him. He could go live. He could build a space station and live on it if he had to. He could. He's got that kind of money. Bongino, Kash Patel, and Pam Bondi, if they don't drain the swamp, they will come after them in the future, even if it's 30 years from now, and put them in jail. They'll find a way. For Bongino to walk away from his multi-million-dollar radio show and podcast to do this tells you he means business. You know, there was a lot of talk of him becoming the director of the Secret Service, and I thought that was unlikely. And the reason I thought it was unlikely is because what he'd have to give up to be the director of the Secret Service. This is different. This isn't a director. This is a deputy director, and he did it. So why would he walk away from such a big industry that he's doing, which is very important? He does very good work. Okay, Dan Bongino on the air. He really does. Why would he walk away from that good work and millions of dollars from now and forever with that work? And he has a whole business with people that rely on him and his family too. He wouldn't walk away from all of that if he didn't plan on making some big swamp draining arrest. And he's been very vocal about all the players involved in all of this, the assassinations, the spying on Trump, the lawfare at every level. And most of the lawfare that has been done was directly through the Justice Department and the FBI. Even when you look at people like Letitia and Fannie, it was all in cooperation with an illegal RICO crime here with the Justice Department. So this is huge. And, you know, the thing about this triumvirate of MAGA justice, I don't know what they're going to be called. I mean, this is the dream team, man. This is the real dream team. And I've been racking my brain this morning to try to think of a team in America that we've had like these three, and I can't think of it. Now, I want to remind you guys, you know, today's Monday already, can you believe it? February 24th. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., I, Brian Craig, will be with Attorney Barry Siegel at the Spanish River Library in Boca. Attorney Barry Siegel is having one of his revocable living trust workshops. I've not been to one of Barry Siegel's revocable living trust workshops in a long time. You are all invited. It is completely free. I hope to see all of you there to support the show, to support me, and of course, Attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law Group. That's tomorrow at 10 a.m., Tuesday at 10 a.m., at the Spanish River Library in Boca. All right? It's completely free. As soon as I get off the air, I'm leaving the radio station and heading straight there, okay? And about the time I arrive will be about 10 a.m., okay? So I'll be right there at 10 a.m. You are all invited. All right, we are going to take our first break of the week on the most shocking choice that President Trump has made so far. Your calls are certainly welcome at 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be back right after this. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. My name's Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. And if you're just tuning in, President Trump and Kash Patel have announced that Dan Bongino is going to be the deputy director of the FBI. Here is Breitbart. President Donald Trump announced that Secret Service veteran Dan Bongino had been picked to serve as the deputy director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Oh, my goodness. Isn't that crazy? It's amazing. In a post on Truth Social, Trump praised Bongino as a highly respected special agent with the United States Secret Service, adding that he is now one of the most successful podcasters in the nation, no doubt about it. And here's what President Trump wrote on Truth Social. Hold on, let me pull this up. Great news for law enforcement and American justice. Dan Bongino, a man of incredible love and passion for our country, has just been named the next deputy director of the FBI by the man who will be the best ever director, Kash Patel. Dan has a master's degree in psychology from CUNY and an MBA from Penn State. I did not know that. Did you guys know that about Bongino? He was a member of the New York Police Department, New York's finest, a highly respected special agent with the United States Secret Service, and is now one of the most successful podcasters in the country, something he is willing and prepared to give up in order to serve. And let me tell you guys, don't underestimate what he's walking away from. Dan Bongino is walking away from so many millions of dollars that he has spent years building this business. And people don't walk away from stuff like that too often. And it's not just greed. You know, when you've got a business like that, a lot of people are depending on you, right? So that's something, huh? Oh my goodness. Something he is willing and prepared to give up in order to serve. And when is the last time someone has given up that much to serve in a position like this? I mean, this isn't even the top job. Working with our great new United States Attorney General Pam Bondi and Director Patel, fairness, justice, law, and order will be brought back to America and quickly. Congratulations, Dan. That's what the president wrote. I didn't realize he was so educated. I knew his other background. In an interview with Breitbart in 2023, Bongino weighed in on cocaine that had been discovered in the West Wing of the White House, stating that there is simply no way the Secret Service did not know who it belonged to. Bongino added at the time that the government was so messed up and corrupt right now. Argue all you want about the deep state being a conspiracy theory or whatever. That's all BS. He used the real word. It's real, Bongino said. We've already seen corruption in the intel community, the FBI. Are we going to find out? The answer is I don't know. I can't predict the future, but let me tell you this. I'm just looking into a camera and begging the Secret Service leadership now. Just don't do to America what the FBI did. I mean, that's Bongino. So I know this is amazing. You know, when everything was over 4 years ago, I told you guys we're going to find that President Trump's second term because I was confident 4 years ago he was going to be reelected. A lot of people weren't. I was. And I said we're going to find that 2 non-consecutive terms is going to be better than 2 consecutive. And he has spent the last 4 years planning all of this. And my guess is this pick of Bongino as the deputy director of the FBI under Kash Patel, this is probably something that was decided on quite some time ago that they kept from us, and they kept it to make the confirmations easier. And I could be wrong about this, okay? Because I have never in my life, and I don't think anybody really has outside of the Washington circles, I've never followed or been excited about a deputy director of FBI appointment before. I've never followed them, but I do not believe that this requires a Senate confirmation. I think he's just hired and has got the job. And the way I see Dan Bongino handling this is not working in an office in Washington at the FBI headquarters. I see him leading the teams in the field as the lead FBI special deputy director in charge and breaking down doors and putting handcuffs on people. including one of the people that he dislikes the most is Adam Schiff. He's always talking about Adam Schiff and Obama and their roles and things. So we're in a position right now with President Trump in this swamp draining that I don't know if anybody could has it sunk into you yet? I'm still getting used to the idea that President Trump's president again. I've been so excited and get goosebumps every time I see that presidential seal in front of him on a podium. Now this? All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. Let's start taking some of these calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brother Brian, IB.
Hey, yeah, IB, man.
This is amazing. My mom makes this upside-down pineapple cake, and you flip it over, you have the pineapple and cherry on top in the middle. Mm-hmm. And, man, Dan Bongino walking away from this like we would have never imagined. But think about it. This guy is then on the side that he doesn't like and the side that he likes.
Mm. Oh, hold on one second. I lost you there, IB. Yeah, he's on. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I wasn't hanging up on you.
What he says on his show, he's on between 12 and noon, by the way, and not on 6:10. And I listen to him when I can, and when I often that I can. He has this phrase: "Cutesy time is over." Cutesy time is over. And he's worked with people he didn't like and people he does like, but he said you've got to do the job and keep your personal biases out of it. Unlike that lady that disrespected Trump in the White House the other day, saying you know what I'm here and so forth. I mean, so he's looking at it. If Kash Patel wants to veer off to the right, he might say because of his experience and the know-how and what's going on behind the scenes. No, on this case, Kash, I think we should kind of like veer off on the left on this particular situation. Now, remember when I said I can't wait to see the 3 first cases from Kash Patel? This won't be it. But my first 2 is Mayorkas and Adam Schiff. Now, the third I'm leaving in reserve for now, and to see like who they're going to go after. But it's not going to be those 2.
Who was your first?
I want Adam Schiff and Mayorkas.
Oh, Mayorkas.
I want them 2 to somehow.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we all got our picks. I mean, I believe that we need. I think the country needs this. We need high-profile arrest with household names, with handcuffs on, doing perp walks. Okay, so if you go after some people, you're talking about going after a cabinet secretary and a sitting United States senator. That's a little more involved. I think there's a lot of lower hanging fruit when you look at at Fannie Willis and Letitia. And Judge Mershon and his daughter and all the money they made. I think there's a lot of lower hanging fruit that there's a lot of more paperwork.
Too. A lot of more paperwork. That's a lot more paperwork, easy to backtrack. I'm just throwing out my birthday wish, so to speak.
Yeah.
But obviously, what would be more prudent is to see who actually broke actual written laws and who's changed laws. Let's not forget about what Mershon did with the jury when he gave instructions in such a weird way. You remember that one? I forgot how it goes. You can tell the audience.
Yeah.
He gave them instructions to come back. It was like guilty from every which way but loose. If you remember that, because the instructions were so incohesive. They would have even a serious jury would come back with a guilty verdict the way he wrote it down.
That's right.
That there is enough. Broken the law.
Oh, yeah. All right, IB, good to hear from you. Yeah, This is so exciting. If you're on hold, stand by. It is Monday. If you're just tuning in and waking up, this is amazing. President Trump and Kash Patel have named Dan Bongino as Deputy Director of the FBI. I just got goosebumps as I said that. That's how big it is. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Oh, boy, if you're just tuning in, this is the biggest news out of Trump's second term by far. Dan Bongino has been named by President Trump and Kash Patel as the Deputy Director of the FBI, walking away from his multi-million-dollar nationally syndicated radio show, podcast, everything, to end the lawfare. Our number, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. To the phones we go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
This is a big deal with Dan Bongino. I mean, one of the big things that he's been talking about over the past year or so is the January 6th bomb plot. You know, the bombs that were the bombs that were found outside of the RNC and DNC. And one, why was Kamala Harris in the DNC thing at the time when there was a supposed bomb plot? And two, you know, how many different police organizations had their hands? Was there a Capitol Hill police thing? Was there a Washington D.C. police thing? Of course, we know there were feds and Fed assets in the crowd on January 6th. So that's a lot of things that he's been talking about over the years that he's going to be able to lead an investigation.
There's got to be, and you know, when this happens, I don't know. I mean, there have to be investigations. You just can't go out and round up Americans. But you know, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit so far as high-profile arrest because they already know who the bad guys are and what they did. So that while there'll be investigations, because we do have we're not going to do what they did. There's going to be due process, but they know where to look, what to look for, and in many instances, people like Dan Bongino already have all the evidence. So I am really, really expecting high-profile arrest and perp walks on television. The assassination attempts on President Trump. That's been totally blown over by the past regime. You know, that there's a lot to go after here.
Right, and that's the thing. And look, we know that Washington D.C. is one of the most surveilled cities probably in the world. Right?
Oh yeah.
Then if that's the case, then how come we never got a clear picture of who planted those bombs outside the DNC or the RNC?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I don't know. So if you had to pick your first one or two arrests that you would like to see Bongino do, what cases would it be?
I would say Jack Smith.
Yeah.
You know, I would say if they can find Ray Epps.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
And then if they can, I'm pretty sure they know who this guy that planted the bombs are outside the thing. Go get him.
Yeah.
Or her.
Yeah. Those are all good ones. Yeah, those are good ones, Mike. All right, take care. All right. 1-888-465-2631 is our number. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. My name's David. I'm calling from Manhattan.
Oh, hey, David.
So I got a question, and I could be wrong about this, but when Barack Obama was elected, wasn't he elected on transparency? Wasn't he going to be like the first transparent president?
They all say that. Bill Clinton used to say that, too. They all say that.
All right, well, I specifically remember...
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that, too. Yeah.
So now that we have an actual transparent president, you notice that these people all want him dead?
Well,
don't kill this guy.
All right. I mean, you know, come on. Maybe hit the dump on that one, Mike. You know, the thing about, you know, everything that's going on here, the Democrats, they're so confused over the USAID shutdown. You know, I was reading this morning, that Vindman was working on something to get a $12 million grant from USAID, and that may explain why he showed up. They're in such disarray because their money has been cut off. You know, they got all kinds of sources throughout the government, but USAID is kind of like the ground zero for the payoff operation in D.C. And what we're finding is a lot of their activists and their politicians, all the people they have in their pocket, most of them are paid through USAID, okay? Most of them. And without the USAID money, they can't even put up an opposition. Now, yesterday, it was announced that Joy Reid has been, it's a little, I shouldn't say fired because the story is a little vague, but Joy Reid has lost her show on MSNBC. They took her show away from her, and it's very high profile. This dropped yesterday afternoon with Joy Reid. Well, actually, I saw this late in the morning on Sunday. That Joy Reid has lost her show, and then as the day goes on, it doesn't say fired. She just lost her show. So and they also got rid of Alex Wagner, her show as well, which she's one of the primetime hate mongers over there on MSNBC. Now, Joy Reid, they may be doing to Joy Reid, it's a little vague, they may be doing to Joy Reid what they did to Tucker Carlson. What I mean is they don't fire them, they're still under contract, they just take their show away from them. And that way they get to keep control of them. They can't go and do things. Now, Tucker had a contract that allowed him to do things online under certain circumstances. So, and he started speaking out right away when they took his show away from him. But Joy Reid, we don't know if she's been fired or if they just took her show away and she still works for MSNBC, which really is an interesting thing because what they do a lot of times is what they did to Jim Acosta. Jim Acosta quit because they gave him that late night time slot. What was it, midnight? He should have taken it. He quit. And the way these deals typically work, and people can have different contracts that give them different things, but when people get fired in these situations, they get these golden parachutes. As an example, Don Lemon, when CNN fired Don Lemon, they gave him a $10 million severance package. Can you imagine? Now, if you quit, typically things are a little different. You don't get the payoff, the golden parachute, and also you're still under the non-compete. So sometimes what they do is do things to try to get people to quit, like Jim Acosta. And Joy Reid is so emotionally out of control and arrogant. Who knows? If they have not fired her and are keeping her on the payroll to keep control of her, she may quit in a fit, and then she'll get nothing. So who knows exactly what they're doing? They're talking about a realignment on MSNBC. But we're in a new country today than we have ever lived in before. This idea of freedom in this country in so many ways has been an illusion, and we've only just realized it over really the last 4 years with all the lawfare against President Trump. And I'll tell you what I'd like to see out of everything. I would like it, and again, Dan Bongino, I do believe as deputy director of the FBI, he's going to be leading teams in the field doing these arrests. The one that I would like to, and you can share with what you would like to see them do first, but what I would like Bongino and Patel and Bondi do first is get behind what happened to the break-in of Mar-a-Lago. That was a home invasion. And if you remember, when they broke into Mar-a-Lago, they brought a safecracker with them. Can you imagine? Broke into Mar-a-Lago with this. And, even though President Trump was not there, it's still under Secret Service protection. And they alerted the Secret Service right before that they were coming to break in. That could have gone in some crazy ways, okay? It's a miracle that it went without an incident. But they brought a safecracker with them. And the reason they brought a safecracker, they had gotten in their mind that inside President Trump's personal safe, he had a binder that had all the evidence of Obama authorizing the spying on him and the surveillance of him. That's why they broke in with the safecracker. All this talk about classified documents and everything was nonsense. They thought that he had this binder that he had put together as president that he took with him and had in the safe, and that's why they brought the safecracker. Now, they didn't find that. They found the president's passport and a couple other things. The safe was pretty much empty, but that's why they went in there. And if you follow Bongino a lot through all this lawfare, while he's covered everything, he's really talked a lot with passion, Bongino, about Obama's role secretly running everything. And if you look at all these problems that we've encountered from the first time they went after Trump, Obama's behind all of it. And he has talked so much about this. So what he'll do first, I don't know. I would like him to go after the Mar-a-Lago break-in first, because that when I talk about low-hanging fruit, when you put together this triumvirate of Bondi, Patel, and Bongino, and I don't know what this dream team will be called. I don't know. It is most definitely the dream team. I've mentioned a few times low-hanging fruit. Since that break-in that President Trump calls an invasion of his home at Mar-a-Lago was done by the FBI, since they've got that agency now, that might be the easiest thing for them to get to the bottom of and do some high-profile arrest on. People in this country, it needs to happen. And don't let them tell you, as they may, because there's probably terror going through D.C. over this right now. This is not revenge. This is not lawfare. It's justice. We've had a lot of criminals out there. Now, I want to tell you, I checked right before I went on the air this morning. The free shipping offer at mypillow.com is still in effect with our promo code Kane. Of course, huge sales going on site-wide on some of the most popular products. You get both the discount and free shipping on all orders, and you're not going to see free shipping written on the website. You get that with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. It's kind of like a secret special. They're not advertising it on the website, okay, because not everybody has access to it. But if you use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, it is free shipping on all orders. There's no catches, no minimums required, no matter how small, no matter how large, no matter how in between. And I ordered something for my daughter this morning, and I checked, and the free shipping is still in effect site-wide with our promo code Kane at checkout. The free shipping offer will end without notice. I'll get a phone call from Mike's office or an email early in the morning telling me about it. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879, promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. All right, we're going to take our last break of the first hour. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show. Back right after this. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Those of you just tuning in, President Trump is named, as Kash Patel as well. They both named Dan Bongino as the new deputy director of the FBI. If Dan Bond, I saw Pam Bondi over the weekend interviewed, okay? And I knew, because I heard some people a week or so ago were saying Pam Bondi's not doing it a lot. No, she is. She fired a bunch of those Biden attorneys, if you remember. But I said she was waiting for Kash Patel. I never dreamed of this. And I would love to know, one day when this Bongino decision happened, I think they've known about Bongino for a long time, and they kept it from us. But at some point, someone's going to write a book in Trump's circle. It's got to be him or somebody in his immediate circle to believe it, unlike this lying book they have out right now, about. But so much coordination, so much work has gone into the preparation for this second term. And usually what happens with presidents, when they come into office, they just give jobs to people, for the most part, that worked on the campaign or are friends with them. This is totally different. This has been a lot of long-term planning and coordination. And Pam Bondi, over the weekend, she gave an interview. And was this the Lara Trump interview on her first show? I think it was, when she said this. And this is what she said. She said, everybody, and this is before we knew Bongino. She was talking in particular about Kash Patel, but she and others that we knew of at the time. She says we all know each other. We've known each other for years, and we all want to protect him, meaning the president. And they know what's been going on. And at the beginning of the hour, I said, this term, labeling people patriot, is thrown around so much. Everybody's a patriot. Everybody's a patriot. There are people that are, there are, but there's levels of patriotism on display. Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino. These are the most important people in Trump's second administration. And there's a lot of people doing things, but these three are risking everything. If they don't do what they've been tasked to do, at some point, one or all of them could end up in prison when the establishment, if they ever get control of the government again. You understand that? That's, and that's not to take away from people in the Trump cabinet that are doing, Pete Hegseth what he's doing is amazing. They're purging these woke, they fired the chairman of the Joint Chiefs and the Navy Chief of Staff, the highest ranking admiral in the Navy, first woman to have that post. Think about this. They fired a black man and a woman from the top posts. What other president would do such a thing? They'd be in a panic about it because, a woman, she is the first woman to ever have that position. Got rid of her. She's out. And they've gotten rid of heads of other agencies too. The woman that was the admiral of the Coast Guard, they got rid of her too. But getting rid of a black man who's chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who's been doing more tail kissing of the president, he was at the Super Bowl with him, and of Pete Hegseth, I couldn't believe, all this sucking up he's done, and the lady admiral. No other president would have the guts to do that. And there's other high-profile people they've gotten rid of in the military. There is a purge of wokeism in the military. So Pete Hegseth is doing a lot. However, he's not taking the risk that Bongino, Kash Patel, and Pam Bondi are. Because, I think I'm right about this. This has not been officially established, but I believe that the Justice Department and the FBI have been the secret government running this country since J. Edgar Hoover's days. Certainly since the Kennedy era, they've been running things. Without a doubt. Okay? And they've had no accountability because everyone has either been compromised or raised to be a part of it their whole life. And these three disruptors, Bondi, Patel, and Bongino, they don't care. And I tell you, as a Floridian, and those of you that are Floridians, we've got the president is from Florida, the attorney general is from Florida, Bongino lives in Florida, and for some reason, I think Kash Patel lives in Florida too. But look at the influence Florida has over this administration. We got the Secretary of State, and Florida. Don't be fooled because we've got some liberal counties, Broward County, the Orange County, which is where Orlando is. Yeah, we got a couple liberal counties, but this is a big state with 67 counties. So Florida is much bigger than people realize outside of Florida. I don't think people realize how big Florida is. We have 67 counties, and they are huge counties. These are not tiny counties. And so you're going to have a couple of outlying blue places. Florida is uber conservative, okay? We've been Republican since 1998, but Pam Bondi's, she's lived in Florida her whole life. I've lived here most of my life. But people like, and so is Marco Rubio. So, we were, raised in this conservative Florida thing. But someone like Dan Bongino, like many others, have come to Florida because it is so conservative. And the part of Florida that Dan Bongino lives in, which is within the listening range of my voice, of our radio stations, is the most red part of red Florida. The most out-of-the-closet MAGA is in the part of Florida that Dan Bongino is from. These, and having so many people from Florida running the government right now is also great, not just because these are people that live in such a MAGA conservative place, but also they're away from Washington or Northern Virginia. These are people that are outside the Beltway. These are not people that have been raised and are multi-generational Beltway people, the permanent Washington class that Tucker Carlson is always talking about. These are disruptors from the outside who don't have their connections inside the Beltway and have a bigger agenda going. And these three, Bongino, Kash Patel, and Pam Bondi, are as MAGA as MAGA gets. And that's saying a lot because there's a lot of people that are MAGA that every couple of weeks want to take issue with President Trump. These people are the real deal. They are the real deal. There is no getting around that. All right? And when I think back at all the times that Dan Bongino not only has been as upset at this lawfare as you are, and I am, over these last few years that President Trump has suffered through, he has, because of his background and everything else, he has so many sources inside the government that have been feeding him information about their crimes. He knows who the bad guys are, he knows where the evidence is, and he knows where to go. He is the most perfect person ever to be picked for a job like this, working under Kash Patel. There has never been a team of winners like we have right now. And you know what? There's not going to be again. This is an amazing time. And, last week when I was telling you, this is not a time to take issue with President Trump on anything because there's a big picture of things going on right here. That is right. We need to be 100% united because let me tell you something. The mainstream media, the political class, and these lawfare people that are in a panic right now, they're going to be doing everything they can do to undermine the great work that's being done by this Bongino, Patel, Pam Bondi triumvirate, Doge, and everything else. Now, I want to remind you guys, tomorrow is Tuesday. So tomorrow at 10 a.m., as soon as I get off the air, I'm going to run out of the studio, jump in my car, and drive the speed limit, of course, to the Spanish River Library in Boca. Attorney Barry Siegel is having one of his revocable living trust workshops at the Spanish River Library in Boca, which is a beautiful, very luxurious library. Believe me, it is. And I'll be there with you. I'll be getting there at about 10 a.m. You are all invited, and I hope to see you all there, okay? I really do appreciate that. And I don't do too many personal appearances. So, and I have, other than our cruise, I have nothing else scheduled for the rest of the year. So this is a time to come out, and I really enjoy meeting you all as well. So it's the Spanish River Library in Boca tomorrow at 10 a.m. And when you walk in the library, I'm sure it'll be very obvious where to go to see me and Attorney Barry Siegel, all right? I will be there, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you there too. That's tomorrow, 10 a.m. in Boca, Tuesday, February 25th, that's tomorrow, at the Spanish River Library in Boca. I can't believe it's already here. I've been telling you guys about it for a couple weeks, and boom, it's tomorrow. All right, in the next hour, I'm going to continue with this. If you're on hold, hang in there. I do want to hear your thoughts on this Bongino pick. This is amazing beyond my ability to measure how big of a deal this is. And you got to ask yourself, are these people, the ones that broke into Mar-a-Lago, these lawfare people, are they scared, or are they so arrogant? All right. And what Elon Musk dropped over the weekend was huge. I want to get into that as well when we get back with that email he sent out to federal workers. You know, no one is going to have sympathy for federal workers that are being fired. Okay, you know, I was watching some of the news stories where they've been interviewing federal workers on the left, right? These liberal media outlets, federal workers that have been fired. Some of them are under probation. No one's going to have sympathy for them, because the federal workers, the bureaucracy, they're always nasty to us. They're very arrogant. They have a feeling of, they have an attitude of superiority. They can't be touched. People don't like them. And all people think about is how rude they've been to them at the post office, or even non-federal places, like when you renew your driver's license, right? You know, they're all like the people at the DMV, and people don't like them. You're not going to get any sympathy other than from other bureaucrats. All right, 1 hour down, 2 to go. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number is 1-888-465-2631. Call us on hold. Stand by. We'll take our break for the top of the hour and be back with hour number 2 after this. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. It is Monday, the 24th day of February. Now, February, this is a short month, right? Are there 28 or 29 days this month? I don't know. But I'll tell you this. There's been more news in this month, the shortest month of the year, than any other month. I mean, this is amazing. If you're just tuning in, President Trump and Kash Patel have named Dan Bongino as the new deputy director of the FBI. And I've never been so excited about a pick by a president before. I'm in shock still that this has happened. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
Wow. Every day, President Trump says you're going to get sick of winning. Not me, man. This is fantastic. Every day something cool is happening. And now I even hear that Matt Gaetz is going to be the special prosecutor. So another person from Florida.
What's going on with Matt Gaetz? I missed this. I missed this Gaetz story. What is this?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear
What'd you say? What'd you say about Matt Gaetz?
Matt Gaetz, they're saying he's going to be special prosecutor for the FBI.
Oh, that he's going to be the special prosecutor, or there will be one?
Yeah. No, he's going to be, Matt Gaetz, they're saying, will be the special prosecutor. I don't know if that's correct, but this is what I was reading on there.
If anybody has seen that, let me know. I have not seen that. But if, I don't want a special prosecutor. A special prosecutor is a waste of time. They spend years, okay? They spend years and tens of millions of dollars, and then if they bring an indictment, it's against somebody you never heard of. It's a way to buy time. Special prosecutors. We don't need that. What we need is, we got Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, and Pam Bondi. They know what to do. We don't need a special counsel.
Well, special prosecutors, when they're going after something like President Trump, who did nothing wrong, that's total waste. But if they're going against criminals, the reason
they appoint a special counsel, and by the way, this goes not just for the ones against Trump. Okay, I'll give you an example. Ken Starr against Bill Clinton, right? If you remember, Ken Starr, he was the special prosecutor investigating Bill Clinton. He was investigating Whitewater, which was a land investment deal, and then he comes out with the Lewinsky story, and that case turned around about Monica Lewinsky and Linda Tripp, and then suborning perjury with was the suborning perjury with Paula Jones or Monica Lewinsky? Well, anyway, the reason they appoint a special counsel is when they don't have anything. They're fishing expeditions, and they create the illusion of scandal. The opposition party appoints special counsels really as a media event to imply that there's guilt when they got no evidence, and they drag it out for years to smear the person. They did this with Trump. No, you don't want a special counsel. They know who the bad guys are. You go in and arrest, and they already have prosecutors, man. We don't need any of that. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. Good
oh,
morning.
Man, what a great morning. Oh, my.
Yeah, here's the deal that what I see, Brian, okay? They could not have announced that this was in the works because Kash Patel would have never gotten his nomination.
Oh, no way. No way.
The left is already throwing a fit. They're saying right-wing conspiracy theorist talk show host. That's how they're framing this.
Yeah.
To the people, they're saying he's a wackadoodle, and this is going to be great. This is going to be super great. I see that right now. This is an unbelievable.
Yeah, do you think Bongino's going to be back on the air today, or is he off to work already? Because when Pete Hegseth was named, he was immediately off the air.
I think that Dan Bongino will be off the radio, but I think he'll say to his podcast people, he'll give a goodbye to them because he owes it to them. He's very loyal to his audience.
Well, I'll tell you, if the Bongino people are looking for a replacement, call the radio station and set something up. We could take over. We could take over from True Oldies the entire Bongino syndication system, and the ratings would be through the roof.
You got a totally different show than him. I mean, his radio show. I don't think he takes phone calls. I'm not sure. I don't listen to it.
Not really. Give me one. Hold on 1 second here. I got a bunch of stuff going on. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I do take calls.
But the podcast is very raw, and you're very vanilla.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. All right, go kiss off, okay? Give me a break. I'm vanilla. All right, that was the end of that. I'm not going to sit here and be insulted. All right, you're on the air. You know, this is Richie never wants me to have success. If you notice, anytime there's any elevation of me, Richie's always downing it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Jerk. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, once, twice. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. It goes every time. Like when we started live streaming the radio show. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't do that. Richie always wants to hold me back, but no. Vanilla. This is vanilla? Oh, my goodness. You know, I have heard this program described as many things, but I've never heard it described as vanilla. Now, if you're just tuning in, this pick with Bongino, all right? They've been going after President Trump, the feds, led by Obama, since almost he came down the escalator. And what had happened was this. When the first campaign first started, okay, they didn't think he was a legitimate, serious candidate, Donald Trump. Remember, they were talking about a reality star. And that's when they carried all the rallies. And then all of a sudden they realized that he was a serious candidate, and they stopped carrying all the rallies. And President Trump, if you remember, he came out of Trump Tower and addressed the media and said this, Obama's spying on me. And they found the surveillance devices in Trump Tower. And the media laughed, and we found out that that's continued. Now, there was a story. Oh, by the way, Richie, if Bongino's syndicator calls the radio station and syndicates the show, you'll still be able to call in. See, Richie's afraid that if we take over the Bongino syndication, he won't be able to call in. We'll still let you call in, Richie. That's what he's panicked about. But anyway, he said Obama is spying on me. This has continued. There was and there's a major update on this, and Dan Bongino is a part of this, and I'll tell you what I'm talking about. The White House in the first term of President Trump did something that I believe was a cover story. There was a story in Trump's first term, President Trump during the summertime, if I remember correctly. It might have been his first summer of his first term. Went to not Mar-a-Lago but Bedminster and was running the country out of there. And they had this story that they were replacing the air conditioning unit in Mar-a-Lago. And even at the time, I was saying, I don't buy that. I mean, I'm sorry, they were replacing the air conditioning unit in the West Wing of the White House. I'm sorry, not Mar-a-Lago. And I said, there's no way. No, they're not replacing the AC in the West Wing. They're doing a sweep for listening devices. They found something. And yeah, that's right. Now, there was a story last week, if you remember, when Elon Musk had that epic press conference in the Oval Office with the president a couple weeks ago. The media were just having a fit that his son, Little X, was there. And then last week, you know, these liberals, they have no class. They attack people's children. They said that X, Musk, his real name's X, was picking his nose and wiping the burgers on the Resolute desk. And they removed, a few days ago, President Trump's desk. They switched out his desk, and they were blaming X. Everybody knows Trump's a germaphobe. He was picking his nose and wiping it on the desk, and that's why they did it. Well, it came out yesterday that that's not the case. That not only did little X not pick his nose and wipe everything on the desk, which we were all watching it on television. We would have seen that, and nobody saw it, but it didn't stop them from reporting it. In fact, even Greg Gutfeld was making jokes about it on the 5 Friday. This broke yesterday. They found listening devices in President Trump's desk in the Oval Office, and they switched out the desk because the desk was bugged. Isn't that crazy? After everything, the lawfare continues. Now, what we don't know is, when did that happen? Were those devices that were put there when Biden was still around because it's the same desk? Or did somebody get in the Oval Office and do it? And I have said in this second term, the reason President Trump is coming back to Mar-a-Lago every weekend is because that's where he feels it's safe for him to talk. I was just suspecting that. And then this happened with the desk. So the lawfare continues even in this very popular and powerful second term of President Trump's. And Bongino has said time and time again with endless discussions on it that Obama is behind everything. Everything. Oh, man, how exciting. If you're on hold, hang in there. The phones are very busy. I want to tell everybody about Jupiter Joe Thomas. Oh, man. Joe's coming in this week. We're going to have him on the air and talk to him. And when I first met Joe Thomas, it was at the radio station. They introduced me to him so he could tell me about what he does. And he says, I work with annuities. And I said, I said to Joe Thomas, I said, I've heard about annuities my entire life, but I've never really understood them. I've heard people explain them and talk about them. He explained annuities to me, and in less than 1 minute, I understood everything about them. Your money is not at risk. The ups and downs of the stock market, you never have to worry about. And you have a guaranteed income in your retirement. It's absolutely amazing. I don't know why everyone is not in annuities. Give Joe Thomas a call. Joe Thomas offers free phone consultations to our listeners, which you can take advantage of no matter where you are located. You'll talk to him. He'll ask you some questions, and he'll put together a custom proposal just for you. Give him a call, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. That's 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, just go to his website, jupiterjoe.com. And at jupiterjoe.com, you can see Jupiter Joe's phone number. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. Callers on hold, stand by. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. If you're just tuning in, Dan Bongino has been named the new Deputy Director of the FBI. You know, I'm expecting Dan Bongino to be in one of those coats that say FBI on the back and breaking in a door, arresting someone. I'm expecting that on television. Aren't you? Absolutely. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, it's going to be one of those days. Once, twice. All right, well, move on. Oh, boy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Steve from Mar-a-Lago County.
AD, speak up. Oh, man, what a great day.
Yeah, it is. I was curious. I just, first of all, with Bongino, I was so disappointed they didn't make him the Secret Service Director, but I think this is actually even a better position for him.
This is a million times better. A million times better.
Yeah. And he's a pit bull, so he's definitely going to help Kash Patel and Pam Bondi. One other thing I wanted to mention is, you know, all the lawfare that these Looney Tunes did to Trump. You think there's any way to prevent the next Democrat administration from doing that?
The Democrats are always going to be Democrats. They're corrupt, terrible, very bizarre people. I mean, look at this governor of Maine mouthing off at the president of the United States in the White House.
Oh, yeah. She made a fool of herself. Oh, yeah. She looked like the United States fool.
Well, you know, President Trump said
crazy.
President Trump said, "Is Maine here?" And she said, "You're damn right I am," she said. I mean, who talks to the president? You know, you can say whatever you want about the president wherever you are, but not in the White House. I've never seen such. No. Democrats have no sense. No sense at all. But go ahead.
To die on that hill of letting men in girls' sports and locker rooms, what a fool.
You know, this is what I don't get about that, okay? That one of the reasons they lost as bad as they did is because of that issue. And when you see these transgender, on the girls' team, they're almost always, you can tell they're cheaters. They're not really transitioning. They're mediocre on the boys' team. So they say they're a girl, and then all of a sudden they're number one. And what kind of lunatic would support that in general, especially now?
I mean, those girls' swim teams from the university that LeeZep Thomas, oh my God, he was in there fully naked and with a fully functional penis, walking around naked in front of all those young athletic college girls. I mean,
can you imagine?
That's ludicrous. I mean, I couldn't do that. If I was the father to those girls, I would have been putting my foot down.
Well, you know, the thing about those girls on the team, I hear what you're saying, but have you ever known anyone whose kid is on a swim team?
Yeah, actually, my brother's son was. It's crazy. Sport.
You know, it's a life. They spend more time in the water than out of it. It's a lot, and there's a lot of investment of time and money. And when they get to that point in college, a lifetime of dedication and hard work, it's hard to just walk away from that. Because you got this weirdo,
you're right.
You know, doing it.
Thousands of hours in the water. It's crazy how much time they put in the water.
And I got to tell you, you know, they don't do this anymore. But when I was in school, we used to have to dress out in PE and shower. It was required. Okay, when I was in middle school, in high school, and it was always
they didn't do that anymore.
No, they don't. It was always uncomfortable. Right? Nobody liked it. Especially we had to start doing it in 7th grade, and you're in puberty. Nobody likes it. For this guy to be able to walk around completely naked in the locker room filled with girls, that's an exhibitionist flasher.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I appreciate the taking the call. The only thing I wanted to touch on is because I see Letitia James is still thinking she's gonna do lawsuits nationwide. I can't wait to see her get hammered.
Yeah. I know. Hey, listen. If now you're calling from you're calling from Martin County. That's where Dan Bongino lives, in Martin County. So you know,
I actually know a couple guys that know him.
Yeah. People have no idea
he's
how
nice.
MAGA that
He's
is.
nice. That's good.
Yep. All right, take care. Good to hear from
Really?
you. You know, that you don't understand. Martin County, no matter where you live that's MAGA, no place is as MAGA as Martin County. It is the most MAGA county in Florida, and Florida is the most MAGA state in the union. And it's amazing. You know, my in-laws live there, and it's great. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, here we go.
Mike in Louisiana.
Hey, yeah. Go ahead.
Boy, Richie, he did it this time. Milk toast. I wouldn't call you milk toast on the air.
Well, I don't think it's an accurate term. You know, listen, here's the thing. I'll tell you that Richie sent me a very long, he's got my number. He texted me. I read some of it. Richie has been following me on the radio since I was a kid, right? Since I was like a teenager doing this. And any time there's been any elevation of me or this show, he always tries to sabotage it. As it, you know, like when we started live streaming, and the show really exploded in popularity with all of that. He tried to do everything he could to stop us from live streaming, you know, and it just drives. I don't know what it is, you know, but anytime there's any elevation. But if Dan Bongino's syndicator that has an open slot calls the radio station and sets and wants to syndicate us through our radio station, we got great facilities at Chioli's. I'd still let Richie call. I'd still let him call, you know. And I think he's worried that if we were to become syndicated, that he wouldn't be able to call and get on the air. I'd still let him call.
Yeah. Well, there is a little bit of a difference between you and Bongino, though. He's got real sources on the ground. He's got whistleblowers and his
You don't think I've got
that.
sources just because I don't brag and tell everybody I know? You don't think people talk to me and tell me stuff? I just don't brag about the things I know and the people I talk to. I don't have to do that. People tell me. I hear from people all the time. I just don't have to. I just don't share. A lot of people that know me that are in the know, okay, it's better for me and them sometimes not to know that they know me.
Yeah. What I like about your show is I wake up in the morning, first thing in the morning, and you're going to have, you know, you're up early, cracking dawn, well, not even before dawn, 2 in the morning, you're up getting yesterday's news. And I'm not getting,
excuse me, I'm not up at 2 a.m. getting yesterday's news. I'm up at 2 a.m. getting the latest news this morning. It's not yesterday's news. It's today's news. All right, I appreciate the call. Oh my goodness. See, there's a little bit of panic. You could sense it already in the audience. You can sense it in the audience with that guy and with Richie. There's some concern that, you know, that the show might explode in popularity again to another level, and you could immediately, you're getting yesterday's news. If I was getting yesterday's news, I would wake up at 5 a.m., okay, and then be on the air at 6. It wouldn't take that much work. I would do all the show prep the night before and just wake up at 5, right? You don't get up at 2 in the morning or 1:30 in the morning, as I often do, to get yesterday's news. Oh, you're vanilla. Oh my goodness. And these are people that I think are friends. All right, listen, we're going to talk about Dr. Appleton. Here it is Monday, and if you're up this morning and you got some aches and pains going on because you were more active over the weekend, I know I do more over the weekend, okay? And Mondays are those days where you feel those aches, those pains. Go see Dr. Appleton. Appointments are necessary and walk-ins are welcome every day of the week, even on Saturdays. And, you know, usually when I go see Dr. Appleton, it's when I'm in need. I wake up, I'm in pain. I'm here on the air, I'm in pain. I need help, I need relief now. And Dr. Appleton understands that. That's why he does not require appointments. He knows when you are in pain, you need help, you need relief, and you need it now. His laser wave pain treatment repairs the damage in your body that's causing the pain. Remember, pain is just your body a signal from your body seconds. That something's wrong, something's broken, and it needs to be fixed. And the laser treatment repairs that damage. That's why the 7 times that Dr. Appleton has treated me, not only has my pain been gone, but it hasn't returned because he's fixed the problem that's caused the pain. There's no drugs, no shots, no injections, no downtime. The laser treatment not only is 100% painless, you don't even feel it. And Dr. Appleton performs all the laser treatments himself. If you have x-rays or scans or something, bring them with you. Dr. Appleton will gladly look at them, and it's a free consultation. Give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain, too. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's Monday morning, and what a great Monday it is. Dan Bongino has been named as the Deputy Director of the FBI. If you're just tuning in, oh my goodness. I'm so excited about this. You know, I'm excited about it for many, many reasons, not just because it opens up this huge window of opportunity for syndication. Listen. This lawfare that's been going on in this country isn't just because of, not just because of everything that's gone through with Trump. It's expanded. All those people that were in the D.C. Gitmo. You know, if anyone other than Trump would have become president, and this goes for all these Republican establishment warmongers like Nikki Haley, this country would have taken a turn into a direction that would have been awful. You know, what I'm doing right now, speaking my mind, would not have been allowed. And what they were planning on doing, and believe me, they did not know or expect Trump to win. And as an example of that, look no further than them switching out Biden for Kamala. They switched out Biden for Kamala because the Biden poll numbers were so bad, all right? And they thought that maybe they could pull it through, first non-white woman president, right? And that was a desperate move on their mark. But what they were going to do is declare MAGA a domestic hate group and outlaw speech. That was going to happen on top of Invasion USA and that's been going on and everything else. If Kamala Harris would have won, we wouldn't be able to talk right now. Now, if you're on hold, stand by. Now, Joy Reid, her show has been canceled on MSNBC. It's unclear at this moment with the latest updates whether or not she's been fired. They may be keeping her on the payroll, just took her show away. Maybe they're trying to get her to quit, or they just want to keep her under control because she's not the kind of person you can control. She could go nuts and say and do anything. The reason, and they also got rid of Alex Wagner on MSNBC, and there have been some high-profile liberals online that have disappeared too, or have had their audiences evaporate. And what's happened is this, okay? Never-Trumper forces of both parties, the Republican establishment, which is still around in exile, many of them pretending to be MAGA, and the Democrats and others in the military-industrial complex, have been artificially funding the support for a lot of these anti-Trump voices, like MSNBC's staff, CNN, a lot of these online liberal influencers, okay? And now that Trump has been not only reelected, it wasn't even close. It was a landslide victory, the largest landslide in my adult lifetime. Okay, it wasn't the 49 states, but it was as close as you could get with the makeup of this country today. I would say Trump's victory was more miraculous than the Nixon and the Reagan 49 states. Okay, because of what President Trump had to go up against, and with all the changes in the country, and the Never-Trumper forces understand that these leftists and others, they have no influence because Trump got reelected, but they also know that he can't be reelected, that this is his last term. So they're not conceding, okay, it's over, it's a MAGA nation. They're regrouping their strategy. But what happened with Joy Reid and some of the others like Acosta, they're going away because they're no longer being artificially supported as they were. You know, a lot of people have said, well, who's watching these liberals and everything? Well, we find out that USAID has been funding a lot of the media. And who knows what other forces inside the government have been funding other media sources. That funding has been cut off and dried up, or some of it's just stopped giving that's on the outside in the private sector because it's wasted money. So this is this country has always been, since Trump came down the escalator, a MAGA country. It just didn't seem that way because of all this money they poured into the Never-Trumper opposition. But out of everything President Trump is going to do, and he's doing a lot of great things, I would say that his greatest accomplishment that is more important than pretty much anything in this second term is to get control of the bureaucracy and the out-of-control lawfare inside the government. Because, if the Democrats can get back in power in 4 years, it's unlikely, but it's possible. And this has to be, this swamp draining has to be done, and it has to be done quick. And really, the biggest portions of it's going to be an ongoing process during the entire 4 years, but the first 2 years are when it is the most important because, historically, the party in power loses control of the Congress in the midterms. What happens in the midterm, and I'm not predicting that, things have changed so much that the MAGA Republicans could even grow in their majorities in the houses in the 2 years. But statistically speaking, we are likely to lose control of Congress based on history. It's an unknown. It's an unknown factor. Okay? Right now, President Trump, we control the White House, both houses of Congress, and the Supreme Court of the United States. And we have that for these first 2 years. So a lot's got to happen in these first 2 years because the midterm is an unknown. Now, if we maintain control of Congress, okay, that's another story. Then we got another 2 years that you can go full steam ahead. But if we lose control of Congress in the midterms, which I don't want you to think I'm predicting that. I'm just telling you it's an unknown. So you've got to move as if we're going to lose it. He's got to do as much as he possibly can in those first 2 years. This pick of Dan Bongino as the deputy director of the FBI tells us that Donald Trump is not playing around, that they're going to kick in doors and arrest high-profile people and put them on handcuffs, and it's going to be on television. Telling you. And Bongino has focused in on so many specific things. Schiff, Russiagate, the break-in of Mar-a-Lago, and the assassination attempts of President Trump. He's talked about a lot of other things too, but I've heard him really with a passion get involved in all four of those. And I'm so glad he got this job and not the Secret Service directorship. Directing the Secret Service would be okay, But he could take care of that and more much better in this position. He was brought in to be like Tom Homan, to be a front man and knock down the doors like Tom Homan's doing with ICE. All right, 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, here we go. It's one of those days, guys. Listen, it's going to be one. There's a lot of frustration among the liberals in this audience today. Okay, and the Never Trumpers. I'm just telling you, they've started to get used to the idea that Trump's got 4 more years. And I was reading today, I didn't realize this because my attention span is really, I want everything to happen yesterday. And we had that president-elect period, now this. But I was just reading this morning that President Trump has gotten his team and cabinet in place much faster than normal. And it doesn't seem that way because we're so impatient because of all the lawfare and harassment and everything we've been dealing with for the past 4 years. This pick of Dan Bongino as the deputy director of the FBI has I'm telling you, it has freaked them all out. The media are going to be, some of them are going to be physically ill today. There are people in Washington. You see how irrational they are by lining the streets with these fake protests, trying to tell us that stealing money from the National Treasury is the right thing to do. These are not people that are thinking clearly. And now with Bongino, they know Trump is not playing games. This isn't rhetoric. Now he's got, Pam Bondi's got Kash running the FBI, but now Kash Patel has a partner that he knows can take care of business out in the field. Believe me, there's a lot of people that are scared. The thing about this, I watch a lot of ID. I love to watch ID when they show they show the videos of the interrogations. And I've heard multiple detectives say, you may not have one bit of evidence or any witnesses or testimony, But the bad guys always think you know everything, right? And there's got to be a lot of that going on in Washington right now with everyone. Believe me, there were a lot of people not sleeping in Northern Virginia last night with this Bongino story. All right, we're going to take our first break of the second hour. Don't forget, tomorrow, Tuesday, the 25th, tomorrow, Tuesday morning at 10 a.m., come join me along with Attorney Barry Siegel at the Spanish River Library in Boca. Attorney Barry Siegel is having his Revocable Living Trust workshop at the Spanish River Library. I'll leave the radio station and head straight there. You are all invited. That is tomorrow at 10 a.m., the Spanish River Library in Boca. All right? You're all invited, and I hope to see you there supporting the program and Attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law Group. That's tomorrow, Tuesday morning, the 25th of February at the Spanish River Library in Boca. See you there. All right, we'll take our last break of the second hour and be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. It is Monday, and if you're just waking up, I mean, I have still not gotten used to the idea. Dan Bongino has been named as the new deputy director of the FBI by Kash Patel and President Trump, and there's been a reset. Remember Hillary was talking about that reset with that stupid button from that office store that she took to Russia? This is such a major reset of getting our country back from these gangsters and God knows who else was running it these last few years. This is amazing what has just happened. And out of all of President Trump's picks for every job, this Dan Bongino pick is, I think, the most exciting out of all of them. And that's saying a lot because these disruptors are all good. All right, let's go back to our very busy phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air.
Hi, Brian. How you doing? This is Ronnie Vick.
Yeah, Ronnie.
From West Palm.
What's up?
It's been a while since I spoke with you, but, I am elated. I am so excited about this. And when I first came and spoke on your show, I said some things that was very positive. And I'm so glad my president is doing exactly what he is supposed to do. Because the bottom line is, hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, the bottom line is, like I said, they open up Pandora's box and they cannot close it. They should have thought long time ago what would happen to them. And it is justifiable because they have committed treason against this country, its citizens, and the Constitution of the United States of America.
What's going to happen, I'm telling you, see, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, and Pam Bondi, this triumvirate of incredible leaders we have in the Justice Department. Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, was interviewed by Lara Trump over the weekend on the debut of Lara Trump's Fox show. And we didn't know about Bongino yet, but we knew about Kash. She said, Kash and I have been friends for years. She says, we all get along. She's talking about the new cabinet. We all know each other. We all get along, and we want to protect him, President Trump.
Yes,
we want to protect him.
That is what it's about. And I call them, I have named them the Dynamic Destructors, TDD. I love what is going on. I love it. It's past time. We need justice. We need everything back the way it should be. And if people don't understand that, then I tell those people, you need to get your mind straight and go to those countries that you love to have this kind of stuff.
And this is
not with that.
And this is saying a lot, but this pick of Dan Bongino, I think, is the greatest pick of all. And he picked him for the right job.
Beautiful.
Because
it is beautiful.
Yeah, because, I don't believe, now I could be wrong about this. I have never in my life paid any attention to deputy directors of the FBI and the hiring process. But I don't think he has to go through a confirmation hearing. And he shouldn't have to go through a confirmation hearing. Yeah, and Bongino,
he needs to go after all those people that did the wrong.
Yeah, and
all those people who did the wrong.
Well, and Dan Bongino has not been brought into this deputy director of the FBI job to head up staff meetings and put on a suit and tie and sit in an office. He's been he's been brought in to do like Tom Homan, to be in the streets and with handcuffs and bust doors down and arrest people.
I want to see all of that. That's the only way you're going to correct these things. You have to show them. I'm a firm believer. First of all, I'm like this here. If you do something to me, I'll handle it. But you have already taught me something. So I tell anybody, please do not teach me anything that you don't want done to you, because I am definitely going to attempt to do it to you. And
I want to hold on. No. What they did, the lawfare was illegal. They were trying to entrap and set
illegal. Totally illegal.
They were trying to entrap and set up a completely innocent man, Donald John Trump. What's going on for a bunch of reasons? What's going on now? What'll happen now isn't that. These are people that have committed incredibly high federal crimes. That there will be justice for these outlaws. This isn't lawfare. This isn't what they did. These are
it's justice. That's what
right.
I said before.
Real crimes.
From the very beginning, it's justice. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Man, you take care, and I wish you all the best. And I've been kind of busy. That's why you haven't heard from me. But if President Trump ever needs me, I am for him right this minute.
All right. Well,
you take care. Have
all right. Take care. All right. From West Palm. Good to talk to you. Now, I announced on Friday that I've lost over 20 pounds with the Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And I've heard from a lot of listeners over the weekend. And let me tell you, I have done no exercise. I don't do steps. I walk to the car and to the door and back a couple times a day. The only exercise I get is the running of my mouth, okay? And that's it. And I've lost over 20 pounds in just a few short weeks. and you can too. But I've heard from a lot of listeners over the weekend who've been very specific. Are you taking Ozempic? No, I'm not taking any medications. Okay, I wouldn't take that, and I certainly wouldn't recommend that you do either. But let me tell you, I've never been on a diet before. I've never, everybody's always trying to lose a couple pounds and everything else. But I was kind of at the point where I just got used to the idea that when you get to be a certain age, because I'm going to be 54 this year. I can't believe I'm saying that. Oh my goodness. I just thought, you get to a certain age and you can't get rid of that belly fat unless you're doing like insane workouts, which I'm never going to do. I don't have time or the will to do that or the patience. And it was just something that I started living with. And then I met Dr. Zuckerman over at Coastal Weight Loss Secret, and he said, Brian, how much weight do you want to lose? And I said, well, I'd like to lose 25 pounds before our cruise, March 30th. He said, no problem. And I started the Coastal Weight Loss Secret, and I'm almost there. I just got a couple more pounds to go, and it's not even March yet. Isn't that something? So I want you to give Dr. Zuckerman a call. I'm going to give you the number. Write this down. 561-247-6300. When you call, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the True Oldies channel, all right? 561-247-6300. And the amount of energy I have is through the roof. I have never felt so good and so energetic since I was a kid. It's absolutely amazing. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlasssecret.com. coastalweightlasssecret.com. And again, make sure you tell Dr. Zuckerman you heard about him on the True Oldies channel. All right? Oh, man. I know. I feel great. Okay, we got time. We'll take a call or two. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Lenny from Coconut Creek.
Hey, Lenny.
How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm excited.
Oh, please. Today's my day off, so I usually sleep a little later when I work, and I get up early so I can listen to the show early.
Yeah.
And I first thing I do is I turn on the show, and I almost fell out of bed hearing Dan Bongino.
Deputy Director of the FBI. Absolutely.
Oh my God! Between the three, Bondi, Patel, and now Bongino, all the things that's been happening, all the talk about the corruption, everything has become so redundant and repetitive. And the big question is like, what's going to be done with these people? When are people going to finally?
Let me tell you, this pick of Dan Bongino as Deputy Director of the FBI. We just heard about it last night. But my guess is President Trump, Kash Patel, and Pam Bondi have known about it for a long time, weeks, months, even. Who knows? Might be a year. Who knows? And they know exactly what to do. They already have the evidence, and they know who the bad guys are. And I'm expecting a high-profile arrest of someone soon, or at least a major press conference with the three of them mapping out what they're doing. And I'm not saying by soon, today or tomorrow, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, this is big stuff.
No, absolutely. This is one thing about Trump is that, he's working in the backgrounds and he's not discussing anything. And it's like you wake up and boom, it's this. I think this is the greatest thing, for Bongino to walk away from, what he has.
I mean, I want you to think about it. You look at, would you want Dan Bongino or Tom Homan on your trail? Heck no.
No, man. This is. A while back, my wife Darlene called, and I'm an identical twin, and he claims he's a Republican, and he 2 months before Trump was elected, he actually I don't want to get into the details.
So you're not identical. He's got the liberal gene. I only got like 10 seconds left till the break. So you're not identical twins. What they always have this, is it nature or nurture? And you're raised together, man. And he's a lib and you're MAGA. That's amazing. You're not as identical as you thought. Listen, I'm out of time for the hour, but thanks for the call, all right? Next time you call, tell me more about that. All right, 2 hours down, 1 to go. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this. Hey, what's up? All right, well, you got a little bit of time, so. I don't have the exact time we're coming back, but a couple minutes. All right, I'm going to put you on hold. Next time you hear me, we'll be on, okay? Hold on. One minute. Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane joining us. Oh, what a great day, Steve. You're with I can hear you, Steve. You're on the air. I can hear you. Steve, once, twice. I don't know what's going on with Steve and his connection, but I can hear him, and he's not there. So I'm going to put Steve on hold. Let me try one more time. Hold on. Steve, are you with us?
I am.
I don't know where you were the first time, but I could hear you. Oh, man. Okay, so today, I got to recap I know a lot has happened, but there's really only one story today, and it's a big one. And this is probably the biggest story of Trump's second term so far. If you're just tuning in, first off, shame on you. This show begins at 6 a.m. Don't you all have your clock set? Dan Bongino has been named by Kash Patel and President Trump as the deputy director of the FBI. And this means that the lawfare conspirators are going to be brought to justice. Have no fear. I mean, Steve, I've never seen any pick for any job by any president as exciting as this Bongino pick. All right. Do you want to take some calls, or do you have any thoughts on it, Steve?
Yes.
All right. If you're on hold, stand by. The number is 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Kenny, Palm Beach.
Hey, Kenny. Oh, what a great day.
Oh, I know. It's awesome. Hey, how you doing, Steve? Now that we got the dream team in place, I can't wait to see who will be the first whistleblower. Because someone's going to cop a deal to spill their guts.
The first to squeal gets the deal, right? Isn't that what they say?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, this is just so awesome. It's unbelievable. They cannot keep up. Their heads are spinning. They don't know what to talk about the other side. I mean, it's just.
Well, what do you say?
As fast as we're moving ahead, the slower and more dumbfounded they are.
Well, like I give an example, okay, and I mentioned this in the last hour, but there was the news is traveling and developing from the Trump administration so fast that even I am having a hard time keeping up with it. And, what I decide to lead with before we go on the air can change every 30 seconds, sometimes even when the show opens playing at the top of the hour at 6 a.m. And, there was a big story that dropped yesterday out of the White House that I've seen very little reporting on. But you saw last week there was a high-profile smear of Elon Musk's son X. They said that they took the Resolute desk out of the Oval Office and replaced it with a new desk because X was picking his nose and wiping it on the desk. And Trump's a germaphobe. I don't know if you heard this story, but they talked about it last week. And
I did, yeah.
Well, yesterday afternoon, it was reported that that's not why they switched out the desks. They found listening devices in the president's desk. So we don't, we don't know when they were put there. Were they put there when Biden was still occupying it, or did somebody do it since he's been in his second term? We don't know, but they switched out the desk because of that. So what that tells us...
Assuming the story, let me ask you this.
It's true.
Assuming the story is true...
It is.
Isn't the real question is who would have done that, such a thing?
Yeah, we don't know if it was done when Biden was still president or if it's been done since. We don't know. But President...
Well, do you have any ideas who it might be? Because I don't.
No. Who do you think?
Well, the first thing I would think of would be Clapper and Brennan and all those people who just had their special security clearances revoked.
Well, I know they have to be able to get in there to do it. Who got in there and put it in? And did they do it before or after Trump moved in again? We don't know. We just know it happened. And President Trump has been coming home to Mar-a-Lago every weekend. And I was talking a couple weeks ago. I said I think he's coming home every weekend because Mar-a-Lago is the only place he feels he can talk and not be monitored. And now we get this story about the desk. So the point of the story, though, and this is to you on the caller, the lawfare continues. Even with Trump in his second term, these bad guys are still at it. And Bongino has been brought in to make high-profile arrests, in my opinion, and they know who they're going to arrest. What are your thoughts?
I'm not sure they know who it is, but...
well, there's a lot of other things to arrest people for. The break-in of Mar-a-Lago, all the...
well, I think I think they just want to keep tabs on what's going on.
No, they're going to arrest people.
Did you see when Trump announced, or denounced is a better word for it, the security clearances of Brennan and...
oh, yeah. He's taking more... Yeah, he's taking Biden's security clearance away, a lot of them. Yeah, he's gone after a lot of them.
A bunch of them. And those the group that were eliminated from the the clearance roles were all the old spies
But
from
but
Biden
Biden, they didn't bring Bongino in to do, in my opinion, to do anything other than. What do you think, caller? Why do you think the pick of Bongino was made?
Well, I mean, I think he was the best of the best.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if anyone talked about it beforehand, but certainly, like you mentioned earlier, it was on Trump's radar list, like way before anybody else. You know, the guy's just good.
In fact,
and for him to walk away,
the thing that shocks me is it took so long for the Bongino deployment to happen.
Well, they had to wait till they got.
I figured in the days when the president's life was really in danger because of all those assassination attempts, I would have thought that. I mean, my first reaction was that I would have thought he would have chosen Bongino as his personal bodyguard.
Well, he probably decided then, but they had to wait to get Kash Patel through to an. If Trump would have let it be known that Bongino was going to be the deputy director of the FBI, Kash Patel probably would not have gotten confirmed, because right now Washington D.C. and Northern Virginia is filled with terrified people. They're scared to death. They know. By the way, caller, thanks for the call. Bongino has walked away from a huge multi-million-dollar career. He's got his nationally syndicated radio show and his podcast, making many millions of dollars a year. He didn't walk away from that to be the second banana deputy director and do nothing. He walked away from that because he's a patriot and he wants to bring people to justice. And those of you that listen to Bongino, I do. I don't listen to a lot of people, but I do follow him. He talks a lot about those who broke into Mar-a-Lago at the FBI. He talks a lot about the cover-up with the 2 assassination attempts on President Trump. He talks a lot about Russiagate and Adam Schiff. And I know he talks about other things, but those 4 things he almost has an obsession over. And he has been getting, from sources inside the government, boatloads of information. You heard the terror with Richie the bus driver over this Bongino pick earlier in the show, guys. They're more terrified in Washington of Bongino than even Richie the bus driver was with his stupidity earlier. But
what did Mr. Richie's call? What did he say?
Well, there's a big opening now, right, in radio, because Bongino is syndicated nationally on a bunch of stations that carried Rush, and Richie the bus driver is concerned that the syndicator might contact the radio station and syndicate us, Steve. And Richie said that this program is too vanilla to replace Dan Bongino. And I told Richie, I said, we've been called a lot of things. Vanilla's not one of them. But obviously he's concerned that he won't be able to call so often if the Steve Kane Show replaces Bongino. But we'll still let him call in, okay? Don't worry, Richie. You'll still be able to call in. Maybe not as much, maybe not for as long, but you'll still be able to call in. Maybe we'll get a special. You think, Steve, they would let us put in the contract to give Richie his own call-in number? I don't know. We'll see. But
I think not.
But no, I'll just say this and then we'll break, because this is an important thing. Dan Bongino, I didn't think he would take the Secret Service job because he can help Trump with that without walking away from his millions. I've never seen someone walk away from millions like he just did to take a second banana job, okay, which is deputy director. He is doing this because he is a patriot, and they have talked, and there's going to be high-profile arrest with household names, with perp walks, I'm here to tell you. All right, Steve, I'm going to put you on hold because we're going to take our break. The rest of you that are on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be back right after this. Steve, you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, everybody can hear you on YouTube, just so you know. But I'm going to put you on early so that when we come back, you'll be there. All right, we got about 90 seconds.
Okay.
But everybody can hear you. So, you guys, we got to keep, just so you know, no private conversations. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. I think I'm going to hit my 25-pound weight loss by the end of the week goal. I got to decide if I want to keep losing weight or stick with the 25. We'll be back in just over a minute. Oh, I'll be right back, Steve. Hold on. Okay, you there, Steve?
Yes.
Okay, 50 seconds. Oh, man. Richie calling the show vanilla. Oh, my goodness. I tell you, you make somebody famous and then look what they do. All right, 20 seconds. Here we go. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane on the line. You back with us, Steve?
Yes, I am.
Oh, man.
Had something I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
That is perhaps a little more of a controversial nature than
Bongino being the deputy director of the FBI. I don't know. That's pretty.
Well, that's not controversial. That's a
Oh, really?
win, a big win.
If you're Adam Schiff, it is. You're freaking out.
Yeah, but we're not. We're on the president's side.
That's
but
true.
That doesn't mean
That's
that
true.
if the president makes a mistake,
Oh, he never does.
that we can't acknowledge it, because I think this thing is going to.
Who's made a mistake?
I think our president did.
Trump?
President Trump.
What's the mistake?
I think the mistake he made was when there was an unfortunate fight that occurred in public over the weekend.
I missed it.
Where Zelensky and he went at it a little bit, and he made the mistake in anger, I think, the president, of misstating the fact that, or stating the fact that it is not true that Zelensky started this fight. And I think you're going to find that
He did. Zelensky started the Yes. Zelensky and Biden started the war.
Let's talk about it, because I don't believe that.
Okay. You're not. Well, I'm going to tell you, I agree with President Trump, and this is what President Trump's explanation for that is. Obviously, the first actual physical military action was done by Russia, no doubt. Okay? But Zelensky and Biden started the war. Zelensky was obsessed with joining NATO, and Putin had been saying for years, you join NATO, we're coming in. And Biden said that, well, you know, Putin could take some of Ukraine. I don't know how much. We'll see. So that's what Trump's talking about. They started it, absolutely. And there was also some conflict that I'm not...
It didn't play that way, and I think what you're going to find is a major shift in the tone of the discussion as a result of the fact that there are a lot of people out there. I think mostly, to the best that I can figure out, it's the main people that are going to go after our president on this are the
warmongers.
The what do they call it? The
Never Trumpers?
Republicans?
The Never Trumpers, the rhinos?
Yeah, the rhinos who have been looking for an excuse to turn on our president, and you're taking this opportunity to create one.
No, I don't agree with anything.
I was listening to overnights.
Yeah.
On Fox Television, and there was no free ride. The president was being mercilessly attacked, and I think you're going to find that the tone of the debate is different
I don't think so. I don't think, Trump, okay, Fox has gotten a little bit anti-Trump lately, okay? I've been seeing it.
It's not anti-Trump to state a thing that's true.
What Trump said is true.
No, I don't follow
Fox, okay.
Bizarre logic.
Bizarre, it's the logic of President Trump.
I think you're blaming the victim.
The
when
victim.
you try to blame it on Zelensky.
Oh, Zelensky, yeah, he instigated the war. He egged. I'll tell you what it's like. You know what Zelensky's like? He's like George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman likes to poke the bear until an incident happens, and I'm a victim. You know what I mean? I've known people like that, and Zelensky's like that. He was poking the bear, literally the Russian bear, and we're going to join NATO. We're going to join NATO. And then Biden was, egging on Putin too. That's what Trump's talking about.
I think you're going to find there are a lot of people calling today that weren't calling before today that don't buy that explanation.
Maybe some liberals, maybe like Never Trumper Steve may agree with you, or that lunatic Tom in Palm Beach, but I don't think so.
Well, I think if you take the calls from this point on, I think you're going to see.
We'll find out.
This call is going to embolden
a
lot of people to it, because quite frankly, the debate up till this point has been very one-sided.
Yeah.
As it should be.
Yeah.
I mean.
All right. Well, the phones are ringing off the hook.
The conclusion that the president is right.
He's always right.
But it was a terrible mistake.
Oh no. Hold on. No. President. Oops. Sorry. There we go. Are you back with us, Steve? Oh, hold on. Let's go. All right. I'm going to go to the phone, Steve. You ready to take some calls? I don't think you're going to find any allies except Never Trumpers on that. You ready, Steve? Take some calls?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. All right. Get ready. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is Rebecca from Plantation.
Hey, Rebecca.
Hi, good morning. I just wanted to say something that I was thinking about as I was listening to you. You know how you keep saying, we have 2 years and we might not be able to get everything we want in the next 2 years after. And I was just thinking, when Biden was the president, it was the longest 4 years of our lives.
It sure was.
It was the worst. And now with Trump, it's like, oh my God, it's going to be 2 years like tomorrow, and it's going to be going by so fast. Isn't that funny, our perspective?
Absolutely.
That's what I wanted to share. But
no, I agree with you.
I think that Trump is so on top of it. I think he's so on top of it that he's going to get midterms is not going to be an issue, especially the way he's taking
Maybe,
out.
but what I'm saying about the midterms is it's an unknown, okay? It's an unknown. Yeah. So as much as possible has to be done in the first 2 years because we don't know. So yeah, so you gotta hope for the best, plan for the worst.
Oh my goodness!
Now, let me ask you this: Steve is taking issue with the president and says that Trump's wrong. Zelensky didn't start the war with Biden. What do you think?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. What?
No.
Man, what are you saying? You think that this thing was started by Zelensky?
I told you, Steve. Yeah.
Who started
it? It was started by Biden. Biden is the one that opened his big mouth and said to Putin, we're going to do this. And, of course, it was like it was intentional. This whole thing has been intentional.
Yep.
So they could, get money over there and launder as much as they could. We've been played, and I'm just so happy that the right people are in office now. And I listen to Bongino every day, the podcast, later in the day, and he is the best. He has so much integrity. He's so smart. What a team! I'm so excited.
What do you think? Let me ask you, caller, because Richie the bus driver's in a panic.
Oh gosh!
If with this big if they replace Bongino with Steve and myself, Richie will still be able to call in. He shouldn't be so panicked.
He's gonna panic.
It was almost like Richie was talking to Bongino's people, like he thought they might be listening. So let me try to sabotage. Oh my goodness! All right, hey, listen.
Poor Richie.
I know.
It was great. Have
Poor
a
Richie.
good one.
All right,
I
take
hope
care.
these 4 years are longer than we feel.
I know what you mean. All right, let's see here. We've got so many calls, I can't keep track of who. Are you with us, Steve?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I want to remind everyone, tomorrow, Tuesday, the 25th at 10 a.m., come meet me, Brian Craig, and attorney Barry Siegel. Barry Siegel is having his Revocable Living Trust workshop at the Spanish River Library in Boca. I will be there at 10 a.m., and you are all invited. I'm heading right from the radio station to the Spanish River Library in Boca. I will be there at 10 a.m. It'll take me about that long to get there. And you're all invited. So come out and meet me, meet attorney Barry Siegel, and, of course, support the program and the Siegel Law Group by doing that. It is the Spanish River Library in Boca at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Of course, it's completely free. And when you walk in the library, you'll know exactly where to go, all right? And you've been to a lot of attorney Barry Siegel's workshops, Steve. They're fascinating to listen to. They really are. I mean, you might think we're being sarcastic. Listening to a workshop on, Revocable Living Trust, typically it would not be. But with attorney Barry Siegel, it's fascinating. And I've been to many of them, although not one in a long time. And I always learn a lot and find them very interesting. Plus, you get to meet me. So tomorrow, 10 a.m., Spanish River Library in Boca. All right, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve, and those of you on hold, stand by. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back. Steve, you there?
Yes.
All right, we got about 90 seconds. So everybody can hear you online. So, not that we talk about things you guys can't hear, but you gotta be a little careful. Okay. Just over a minute. If you're on hold, hang in there. Very busy phones today. All right, 30 seconds. Hold on 1 second, Steve. Oh. Steve, you there? Steve, you there? I just lost Steve. All right, we are back. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Steve, you back with us? I just was talking to Steve and I lost him. Let me try one more time. I'll try again. All right, Steve, you with us? Okay, I'm going to put Steve on hold. We'll go back. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Barbara in Baltimore. Good morning, Steve. I just like to, I agree with you, Brian, about Zelensky. And Joe Biden. Joe Biden said some things leading up to this war. That when he said it, and I heard him, I'm like, what the F are you talking about? Why would you say something like that? It was just different things that he said. It was like he was poking the bear, as you say. And Zelensky, to him, this was a money laundering scheme, a lot of it.
I would go so far to say that he became president to start the war with Russia.
It happened almost as soon as he got in. He started messing around with it, and he just said things that were just so off-colored, out of the blue. You know, especially what they could do a little incursion, or they can take a look. What the heck is that about?
Yeah.
So it was pretty obvious to me that Zelensky kind of went along with Joe Biden, but I'm sure he had to realize that Joe Biden was missing a few things, that, you know, that everything wasn't right upstairs. And you're going to go into a war without at least trying to make some appeasement or making some appeal. What President Trump said, he didn't even talk to put.
That's right.
He wasn't even trying to negotiate.
They refused. Barbara, I could not agree more. All right, let's try Steve. Steve, you back with us? I don't know why I keep losing Steve here. I got everybody else but Steve. I'll try again. Oh, try one more time. Steve, you with us? I don't know why. I got everybody but Steve, so we'll go back to our phones. I don't know why that happens. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Eric from Central Illinois. How you doing?
Hi.
All right. Hey, yeah, so I thought Dan Bongino was clickbait when I first saw it. I was so excited.
It's true. No, it's true.
But, hey, I got to side with Steve on this one because, look, I know what President Trump meant and what he's saying, but I would have taken more of a, kind of both sides of the issue, because there's no doubt in my mind Zelensky and Biden, they pushed, Putin into a spot, and he warned them, and they knew for years not to do that.
He instigated the war, Biden and Zelensky.
I understand. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just saying, Brian, what I'm saying is, the world's already been convinced.
Let me ask you. You're in Illinois, right? If I went to the south side of Chicago, okay, with my MAGA hat on that I'm wearing right now, and started yelling out the N-word, what would happen?
Oh, well, that's a no-brainer.
What would happen? No, tell me. No, not a no-brainer. What? No, slow down. What would happen?
Well, you're starting stuff.
I'm starting stuff. I'd get killed, right?
I would think so.
If I went in the south side of Chicago, I got my MAGA hat on, and I start yelling the N-word, you don't think I would run into some trouble?
But does that make it right for someone to harm?
No, but when it came out, like there was some street camera of me in my MAGA hat yelling out the N-word. I'm lying dead on the streets of the south side of Chicago, who would people blame?
But that's the problem.
Well, that's what Zelensky. That's what Zelensky did. I'm going to try Steve again. Oh boy! All right, Steve, you with us? I don't know what's going on here. It's getting very frustrating. I got to tell you. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Milo, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so real quick, I just wanted to give you a little information, background on Bongino. I listened to the show.
We all know Bongino's background. We don't need the bio. Just give us your thoughts on it.
No, not him. Well, I knew that he was going to be working for Trump. He pretty much said if Trump asked him, he would go to work. I thought it was going to be for the Secret Service.
All right, okay. That's just, okay, whatever. Oh, my goodness. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. Tom from Florida. Steve isn't on. Well, he's actually the only one with common sense over there this morning.
Yeah, and I lost contact with Steve. He's probably going to think over this common sense.
You guys have made this a right-wing talking point that Zelensky is a dictator when Putin is a dictator in definition by just himself and looking at
What is the, you know what?
I don't,
the definition, what is the definition of dictator? I don't know. Do you?
A dictator is basically somebody who basically strains their people, doesn't really care about them, rules over authoritarian,
I didn't ask you about Biden. You said that Putin is the definition of a dictator. Could you give me the definition of a dictator?
I just did. An actor.
No, you didn't.
An actor who got president. Putin thought, there's a weakness. Trump isn't, and he went for it. Don't say that Ukrainians started this war.
Well, the last call. I'll ask you the same question I asked the last caller, okay, and see if you got an answer. You know, the last guy was calling from Illinois, so I used the south side of Chicago. All right, south side of Chicago. Everybody know.
What you doing? Die Hard Vengeance? What are you watching too hard? Die Hard.
That Die Hard 3, that was Harlem. If I walked down the street in south side of Chicago with my MAGA hat on, yelling the N-word, and I got killed, who would people blame?
Who would people blame? The person who shot you?
No, they would blame me. They would say, what is this stupid idiot white boy doing wearing a MAGA hat, calling people the N-word, and they'd blame me for being stupid.
I honestly have to say you got to go back on break and think of a better analogy because that is...
No, that's a great one because you've got no answer for it, and that shows you right there. Steve, you with us? I don't know why. It says you're on the air, and I don't know why you're not there, Steve. I keep trying. I've only tried 10 times. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Joe from New Jersey. Good morning.
Everybody's working but Steve today. I don't know. All right, what's on your mind?
I just want to say I agree with Steve.
Huh?
And to answer your question, a dictator is somebody who does not have the faith in his own people that they will elect him. So there is no free elections in Russia. That's what makes him a dictator.
So what? What? I didn't ask you the definition. I asked Tom, who had a strong opinion on dictators. Okay?
I know.
And he doesn't know.
Okay, well, I do. Because I come from, my family comes from a dictatorship. So I know exactly what a dictatorship is. And it's not Trump, like a lot of people.
Well, that's for sure.
But Xi Jinping is a dictator, and so is Vladimir Putin.
They have different, but it doesn't matter that he's a dictator or not.
They both have spy bases in communist Cuba, 90 miles off our shores.
Hold on a second.
Does that mean we should invade Cuba? Should we invade Cuba because they have a spy base 90 miles off our shore?
Absolutely not. But
I think we should if Russia's able to invade Ukraine.
But if they
want to join NATO.
No, because Russia, the situation with Russia and Ukraine is much different. Unlike Cuba was never a part of the United States, and I'm not saying that this is right. I'm just telling you what is. Okay, Russia
the same way.
Russia views
the same way you're saying that that Biden is encouraging the invasion of Ukraine by saying they can invade a little bit. I agree that was retarded of him to do. But that does not excuse Putin invading Ukraine, because Trump just did the same
It doesn't
thing by letting Xi Jinping know that he can invade Taiwan, basically
Really?
by letting Russia get away with it.
By your
And calling
okay,
Vladimir
so do you think that George W. Bush was a dictator? He invaded Iraq. They didn't attack us.
No, he's not, because he had a free and fair election. He was chosen by the people.
No. But he invaded Iraq, did regime change,
Yes.
and they didn't attack us.
So what does that mean? What do you mean? I
Well,
don't
by your
understand the
definition with Putin in Ukraine, George W. Bush was a
Yeah.
dictator.
I don't understand how you can make that connection right now.
Well,
we're
because
taking part
we
of-
invaded another country that didn't attack us. Because we didn't like them.
Right, and that was wrong. And now, in retrospect, we all look back
In
and say it
retrospect.
was all wrong based on false information. That doesn't make him a
But
dictator.
Ukraine,
He was elected by the people.
Ukraine was conspiring with Joe Biden and Europe to join a military alliance with the stated goal of bringing down Russia.
I don't believe that's a stated goal. of
That's
NATO
what
to
NATO's
bring down-
for. NATO is there
No,
to
it's
stop
to
Russia.
defend against Russia. To
Defend.
defend, not to take them down.
Defend.
We didn't invade Russia. We didn't go into Russia.
We're
they came
no,
into
we're
Ukraine,
they're launching
into Europe.
rockets. They're launching American weapons into Russia now.
Good. They should.
Good. We should
carpet
be
bomb
attacking
But they're
Russia?
communist.
We should
We
be
should carpet bomb Russia and the
Are-
dictator
oh.
Putin.
You're from a dictatorship. Where are you from? Cuba? Where are you from?
Yes, communist Cuba.
Communist Cuba. And you want to carpet bomb Russia? That's insane.
I want to. That's just
Because they're
the truth is,
communist?
I want a precision drone strike on Putin, not the people.
So
We love
okay,
the Russian
which
people.
isn't
We hate
gonna
the
which
communist
isn't
dictatorship.
why you want to go kill a leader of another country that hasn't attacked
Yes,
us?
I want to kill Putin. If I had him in
All
front of
right,
me
I
now.
appreciate the call. I mean, the guy's got a little bit of an issue. All right, listen, we're going to take our last break of the day. I'll try to get Steve back. I don't know why I lost it, but we'll try during the break. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Our number 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I want to tell you all about the incredible free doorbell camera offer from Slomin's. Slomin's is going to give you a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone with the installation of your Slomin Shield. You'll love this doorbell camera. It'll change your life. Slomin's is also going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. You get an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts, a lifetime warranty, and a backup battery. Plus, you'll get a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Slomin Shield. Give them a call, no matter where you're located, and get that free doorbell camera. You'll love it. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Very easy to remember. 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. We'll be back right after this. Hey, hold on. Hey, William, hold on. Steve, you there? Steve, you there?
Hello?
Yeah, you're okay. Hang in there, Steve, okay? Can you hear me? Steve, you there? This is insane. Steve, you there? All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, and this is the Steve Kane Show. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals starting out the week?
Starting out very strong for the precious metals, especially gold and silver. But the gold market continues to bounce off of minor pullbacks and make new highs. And right now, Friday, we saw gold close down just $3.60 at $2,935.30. Silver closed out the week at $32.44, while platinum was down $6 on Friday, closing at $9.70, and palladium was down $16 at $9.50. Overnight, we saw gold trading in a range of $29.22 on the low, all the way up to $2,955. And right now, we're at $29.53.50. That's up $18.20 this morning. Silver up 16 cents at $32.60 the ounce. Platinum down $5 at $9.65, and palladium down $20 at $930. So again, gold and silver leading the way to much higher prices.
Yeah, and even with these high prices, people are buying like mad. I wanted to talk to you just for a second, William Youngerman, about gold bars, because people are asking me about gold bars. And if you guys have any question on the metals, call William Youngerman. William Youngerman and his team, they know all the answers. I'm going to ask William right now. When it comes to buying gold bars, which come in many different sizes, including incredibly small and 1 ounce and greater, not all bars are equal. Are they? There are some bars that you want to buy and some you don't. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we handle only the top brand bars, mostly which are made in Switzerland and have been for many years. So the top producers of the gold bars are the ones you want to stick with, not minor refineries and things of that nature that really haven't been around and don't have the financial strength to back their products.
Yeah.
So we really handle the very best of the bars and only those.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's important, because at some point you or someone else is going to turn those metals back into cash or something, and you want to make sure that they have the right bars to do that with. William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. You can give him a call, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, or stop in. He's located in Boca at 150 East Palmetto Park Road, just east of US 1 Federal Highway, on the south side of Palmetto Park Road, on the first floor of the Bank of America building. And you can find both his address and phone number online at williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right. Now, I did figure out the issue with Steve, but I can't take care of it till after the show, guys. So it's my apologies. It's going to be all, what to pay on my end. For that's going to be fun when the show's over for me. Welcome back, everyone. We've covered a lot today. And I just want to recap this. There's two stories we're talking about. The one that Steve brought up, but which I will get back to that in a second. But the big story of the day, in fact, I would say it's the only real story there's a lot of stories out there, and today there were a couple of stories that I thought I'd be talking about today at length. And I've mentioned them, but no real discussion, because the big story of Bongino is beyond any of them. The incident with President Trump and the governor of Maine at the governor's meeting at the White House on Friday was insane. And that is one I would have thought we would have been talking about. Joy Reid being canceled. Her show has been canceled on MSNBC. That's another big one. And there's a lot. I mean, these are stories I've mentioned. But I would have thought we would have had prolonged discussion. The listening devices in the president's desk. These are all massive stories. But and another one that I haven't even mentioned at all is Elon Musk sent this email out to federal workers and telling them that they had to respond by a certain date. I think it was today at noon, wasn't it? To answer 5 questions about what they've done in the last week at work. And there was a lot of controversy when that email leaked out. And Elon Musk yesterday said the reason we want to do that is some of these workers have been working at home so long, they haven't been accessing their emails. And it's a way for them to weed them out. But also, Elon Musk said that Doge believes that there are who knows how many thousands of federal workers that don't exist. Either they don't exist or are dead and are still collecting a paycheck. And, of course, they wouldn't respond. So one of the reasons they did that is the ones that don't respond, it narrows down their parameters on who to search for as to corruption going on with that. And that second part of the story hasn't even made the news. They're all obsessing over the email because a couple of the department heads, Kash Patel and I think maybe, did Christy Nome and Tulsi tell their workers don't ignore those emails? Well, those were for some specific things. But the media haven't followed up on this part about Doge believes there's many thousands of non-existent or dead people that are collecting a paycheck. And it's a way for them to narrow that down and weed it out. And this idea that you need to list 5 things that you did this week at work, and you can't do that. I mean, I could list 5 things I've done this morning, including this tech issue we're having with Steve. I found out the problem just a few minutes ago. I can't fix it while I'm on the air. I'll fix it in 10 minutes when we're off the air. But if you can't list 5 things you did in the course of your work, maybe that, yeah. But the main reason for it was to, after the 10 million over 120 that are on the Social Security rolls, they know that this is taking place in other areas of the government too, not just Social Security. And those are all stories that I would have thought would have been lead stories today. And then it drops that President Trump and Kash Patel have named Dan Bongino as the deputy director of the FBI. And Dan Bongino has walked away from his multi-million-dollar business to do this, tells us that there's going to be some arrest, and a lot of them. Some pretty high-profile ones, too. Now, if you're on hold, hang in there. I want to tell you guys about the Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I've been on the Coastal Weight Loss Secret diet for less than a month. I know when I went on it because we had Inauguration Day, and then I went to California, and I started it when I came back from California. So I started it a week after the inauguration. And I did that because I knew I was going away, and when I visit my daughter, I love the food in California, and I told Dr. Zuckerman I got to wait to start until I get back because I know when I go to California I'm gonna overload because there's some restaurants out there I really enjoy, and if you watch my YouTube video out there, you know what I'm talking about. But Dr. Zuckerman, he said, how much weight do you want to lose? And I said, well, we have our cruise coming up March 30th, and I'd like to lose 25 pounds before that cruise. He said, no problem. And I was like, okay. And shocking, I'm just a couple pounds away from that already. Can you believe that? And it's not even March. I'm not taking any medications, no pills, okay? And I'm doing 0 exercise. The only thing that I'm exercising is my mouth. That's it. Nothing else is getting exercise. So give Dr. Zuckerman a call at the Coastal Weight Loss Secret. It's amazing. And the weight I've lost, it's been mostly in my stomach and in my waist, which is where I wanted to lose the weight. My pants that I'm wearing, a couple weeks ago, these were tight pants without a belt. And now I've had to put another hole in my belt. Looks like I might have to add another hole today. I'm losing about 1 pound a day. I might have to put another hole in this belt today to hold these pants up that just a couple weeks ago were tight. And I don't wear my belt because I didn't need to, and now I do, and my pants are falling out. So it's absolutely amazing. I'm in shock at how much weight I've lost. And, of course, I feel great. I have more energy than I've had in years. It's really life-changing. So give Dr. Zuckerman a call at Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Here's the number, 561-247-6300. When you call and when you stop in, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the True Oldies channel, all right? 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. Okay, let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's JJ from Mass. Good morning.
Hey, JJ.
I would say that as far as Dan Bongino goes, this should be like a holiday of perfection, really. It's he is one of the best people. I watched him in the very beginning. He's just a great guy. He's methodical. And as far as crimes to investigate, this is the thing, the difference between Republicans and Democrats, and certainly Dan Bongino and Bondi and Kash, is that we're going to investigate crimes and then look to the people that committed them.
Well, but here's the thing with Bongino. Bongino's already been investigating these things as they've been happening with real live sources that are inside these agencies.
Absolutely. Yep.
So a lot of the investigative work has unofficially been done by him in the private sector. So that speeds things up. We don't want any special counsels, and
absolutely no special counsel.
And
that will slow things down. I heard that conversation you had earlier. In
that's
the show.
crazy.
They don't need them. And Dan Bongino has he has a lot of sources within D.C., a lot of, and he has been investigating this stuff. He's been right about everything.
And let me tell you, Dan Bongino did not walk away from this national radio show that he has and podcast, which makes many millions of dollars, to be the deputy director of something. He did this to bring to justice. Yes, he did this.
Telling you, he wanted this because
this is
the director, like Kash.
Well, this is one of the.
He's going to be boots on the ground. Dan Bongino will be leading. He'll be the head investigator, lead investigator.
This is one of the most. Hold on, JJ. This is one of the most patriotic acts I have seen by an American in this country. I'm not comparing to people in combat. I mean, I'm not talking about, our warriors in the military on the front lines. I'm talking about someone here in the United States, a civilian taking a civilian job. I think this is the greatest act of patriotism I've ever seen. These other people, they take jobs so they'll forever be attorney general or forever have been treasury secretary. It gives them a lot of juice in their business. Dan Bongino did this to kick down doors and put handcuffs on people.
He loves America, Brian, and he absolutely hates what it had become, and he is putting himself out there. I agree with you. It's very patriotic. He loves the country, just like Trump. I mean, Bonnie, but you have to put it, because I was pretty worried about. I really wanted him in the government, but I'm like, I wasn't going to blame him for not. Because he put in his time, but he's that type of guy. He's stepping up. Just like Elon. When Elon figured it out, Elon went in full bore.
That's right.
He's behind Donald Trump 100%. That's the thing about Trump. Trump has warrior patriots who love this country more than they love anything else, and that's why I hope and pray that these guys will be okay, and that we just keep this going.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it. All right, JJ, I got to run, but I got to tell you. This pick of Bongino, out of all of Trump's picks, this is the one that they've been nervous every step of the way. This is the one that is terrifying these people, because imagine, Tom Homan, he's a Tom Homan type, and you put that's it. When has someone walked away from what he's walked away from for a deputy director's job? No. Totally different. I mean, this is the real deal. Now, I do want to remind you, tomorrow, Tuesday, the 25th at 10 a.m., come meet me, Brian Craig, with Attorney Barry Siegel at the Spanish River Library at 10 a.m. Attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law Group are putting on their Revocable Living Trust workshop at the Spanish River Library in Boca. I will be there. I'm going to leave the radio station and head right there and be there at 10 a.m., and all of you are invited. I hope to see you there. And we haven't done anything in Boca in ages and ages and ages. So if you're at the northern end of our signals and south and everything, it's a good centralized place for you. I look forward to meeting you all. It's 10 a.m. tomorrow, Tuesday, at the Spanish River Library in Boca. All right, come meet me, Brian Craig. I'll be there with Attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law Group. You'll have a great time, and I look forward to meeting you. All right? Okay, that's all the time we have for today. I'm going to sign off and call Steve and get chewed out, but that's okay. Hey, listen, at least I figured out what the problem was. Be thankful for that. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show, back tomorrow, 6 a.m. All right, guys, take care. I will see you all later. Thanks for watching.